Fine, thank you. You? I'm doing okay. I've done better. I had a really grueling 4-hour exam this morning. Didn't go very well. It was really hard, and I'm exhausted. And I've got another one tomorrow morning, early. So I'm really kind of just trying to, just trying to finish this game up relatively quickly. Uh, but we'll see how it goes. I'm deeply tired, physically and mentally. Let's tell our opponent, GLHF. You gotta be sportsmanlike. What color do we have? White. Oh, cool. GLHF. Okay. Here we go. We're in. Okay. What the hell am I looking at? Simple, no bishops. This is quite a board. Ooh, there is... there are f7 shenanigans on this board. I mean, I know it's e5, but, you know, f7 is just our proxy for that in this game. Here seems pretty interesting. Maybe? Good luck. Thanks, Lewis. I appreciate it. We'll see what happens. Here looks interesting. This is, again, I've never seen this variant before, but this looks like something that maybe I want to capitalize on. This up here, after this, what, we've got this, and then this comes in like this? Well, I mean, after this, we can't do this, but, interesting. Other options, we've got this so that we can do this so that we can sack our queen. That seems pretty busted, not gonna lie. This like this, and then the next turn this, and then on turn 3 we'll go turn 2, turn 1 blank, so we actually have time before we do that. So this will also prevent him from playing like this turn 1, which will block this. Sure, why not? Cheesy. I consider this one of the more balanced boards, the pseudo abstract meta. Oh, okay. I've never seen this board before. But I immediately gravitated towards some queen shenanigans here. Man, 2 of my friends are streaming, I know. I'll only be here for this tournament match. How can I choose? You can always multi-stream. Actually, I think I have that command still on my chatbot. I might have disabled it. Let me re-enable it. Let's re-enable this command on my chatbot, so you should be able to type exclam perspective. Yeah, this is the exotic tournaments. Nice. This is the exotic variants, Tourney. Oh, he just takes. This is pretty good, right? Because if we take here, isn't he kind of toast? I'm really not thinking at all. Good luck. Thanks, Tutor. I appreciate it. Because if he opens this up, well, I mean, oh, actually, I should have done this, shouldn't I have? Well, we'll see. I mean, the plan has sort of changed, because if he takes here, like, I can't imagine how he defends this, this king. That seems kind of bonkers. Am I wrong? Am I wrong to think that's bonkers? Because what happens when we do this? It's a simple question. What happens when we do this? I mean, we basically threaten mate in 1, no? Let's just do this. Because this here is mate in 1, and he has to prevent that from happening. I don't really see how he does that. I mean, to be fair, he could play his king out here. He could castle. That doesn't work, but he could do it. Did we just win? Okay, hold on. Because our next turn... Yeah, no, right? How does he defend this? Am I crazy? Time travels, maybe? I don't know what just happened this game. Okay. Sorry, I'm just like I can't tell if I'm just super tired or if I'm... So I just have to like recalculate this over and over to see what... If I'm... Just to check whether I'm missing something. I don't see how he gets out of this one, man. I think we might have taken game one with less than a minute on the clock. That's pretty cool for having seen this idea this quick without ever having seen this format before, this variant. This variant seems crazy. Man, I want to roll white in this tournament. Too bad I didn't buy a ticket. Yeah, I think the more sorry, my brain is really, I'm just so frazzled from my exam this morning. I'm like really reeling. Jeez. Well, I guess we'll spend 18 minutes for the opponent to be convinced. I mean, probably. Looks like Praxis made a bad blunder. Black doesn't lose his King's Knight. He's pretty safe. Yeah, I think so. How were the exams? Man, it was really hard. I've studied. I have an exam this morning, and then I have one tomorrow morning. They're both 4-hour exams. They're my comprehensive exams. So there's 4 of them total for the physics PhD for my program. One in each of the 4 academic fields of physics. So there's classical mechanics, electricity and magnetism, quantum mechanics, and statistical mechanics. I'm taking quantum mechanics and statistical mechanics this time around. I've spent the last like 7-ish weeks full time studying for these exams. Like 8+ hours a day, like 8 hours minimum. And despite that, I really had a crazy amount of trouble with this exam. They're really, really difficult. At our school, at our program, they're like famously incredibly difficult. It's really bad. Sorry, let me finish this. This actually, Yeah, this way, if this takes here, we just check with the queen. And then there's nothing you can do about this. Sorry. Yeah, so this is, man, that's rough. Yeah, I have exams at the end of every year. Yeah. These are like, they're not like finals or anything. They're like, to advance to candidacy, you have to pass all 4. And you can take them, like, in any order, basically. Whenever you want. You have like, well, it's supposed to be by the end of your second year, but you basically have 5 tries and they're offered twice a year, and you can take them. I think we just win here. Yeah. Yeah, there we go. All right, so it works the way we thought it did. GG to our opponent. But yeah, you have like by the end of your second year, you have to pass them, and there are 4 of them, and so I just took 2 of them this time around, and you can take them over and over again until you pass, but I'm toward the end of my second year, and I missed a couple attempts because of extenuating circumstances, so I'm under a lot of pressure. And it's just disgustingly difficult. Like, it's a really big problem, and I've been fighting as like a student advocate in our department to try and make them a little bit easier, because it's really absurd how like difficult the problems are. GG though. GG's to our opponent. You need to bear with it. It will end. Yeah, I mean, I've been bearing with it for a hot minute, so this is I'm at the tail end now. Well, local tail end. I still have to pass them eventually if I failed them this time. But anyway, right now we're playing some 5D chess, so let's pay attention to this. Okay, exchange ELHFs with our opponent. We got black this game, which I'm very happy about because in this tournament, in the rules of this tournament, you don't just switch colors game 1 and 2. Which variant is this one? This is Timeline Invasion. It looks pretty goofy. I don't know that I've played this one either. No, I think I have played this one. Right? Okay. But yeah, there's no color switch by default unless the first 2 games you exchange and the same person got white in each, then the last one you switch. That's just how the tournament rules are laid out. So I'm glad that we switched colors game 2 because I'll feel less bad. If I just get white twice in a row and win twice in a row, that feels pretty bad. So I'm happy about that. Okay, so what are we looking at here? We've got a little bit of time. Let's take a second. Bishop's attacking this pawn, but it's covered by this bishop. Here, so his pawns can go from here to here. This is interesting. Now, one thing that I would like to point out, just as a general principle for games like this one, is if this pawn ever moves, I'm really getting sort of... I mean, I've only played... This is like my second game in recent history playing where you start out with more than one timeline, but I'm always looking for cross-timeline opportunities. If you can get a rook to this square and time travel back once this pawn is no longer here, so you make a timeline where there's a rook in the middle on C1 in this timeline, then that's mate. So I think that like collapsing on this pawn is actually like a thing. It's an interesting idea. Now, we can't do that just without any support. I want to prevent my opponent from being able to develop his pieces on this board. He can develop the bishop here if he wants, but it doesn't look very good. I know that if he takes this, it's no problem because of this bishop, but actually maybe for that reason we want to bait him into... Well, no. Because I was just thinking, I'd like to push this pawn to prevent his knight from mobilizing. Just feels good to me. Where does a knight do work on this board is another good question. A knight does work here, and a knight does work on this board on this square. So actually weakening this square is something of a priority here for me. But I wanna block his knight in. So I think that this is a move, and then maybe developing my own knight is a move. If I develop my own knight here, then, well, I'm threatening here, which seems pretty good. I'm gonna need more pieces than just that to threaten there, but I don't know, maybe like push here and then push here is good because we've got this guy in the attack, and we've got this guy in the attack. If I push here and he pushes this, that's really good for us, I feel. Because, like I said, if we can get a rook here, then we basically win the game. This is a really cramped board. 5x5 feels like the lower limit for I imagine you solving the variants before the time starts in the exotic tournament. Yeah, this is the second time I've done that, isn't it? Okay, maybe let's not solve the variant. We did that for a little bit last week. This is like cheating in many ways. It's true. It's actually, I feel bad doing this because the timer hasn't started. In a regular game, like black starts the timer for white, then they play their first move. Here you get to see what the move is before you respond to it, and that feels like cheating. And I'm not okay with that. So actually what I'm gonna do is play, even though I haven't fleshed out my ideas, because it only just sort of occurred to me that I was being a bit of a dick here. That's not cool. We're not okay with that. So I apologize to my opponent for solving his, it wasn't as much about his, well, I did discuss his moves kind of at length, didn't I? I was more looking at the variant in general. But I mean, obviously I also see his moves, so it's very natural to only think about the game in chess, yeah. Solving the variant T1. Okay, so now comes some tricky business, guys. Now comes some very tricky business. Check this out. If we threaten, well, it depends on what he does up here, but if we threaten this pawn and we take here, oh, this could be really bad for our opponent. This could be really bad for our opponent. Let me think. But I think we have shenanigans here, don't we? Oh, and he covered this for me. Wait, this is excellent, isn't it? Okay, so I have a couple of options. First, I can put my knight here to check his king and push this pawn, so that if he takes the knight with the bishop, then I get this pawn, and he either loses, we immediately win the piece back and get check, or he takes it back with the king, which leaves his king pretty open, and that feels pretty bad for him. Alternatively, we actually have this move, which wins the game because it checks his king on the top board, and it's only his turn here, so this wins. All right, guys. GG. Okay. We found it, guys. We found it. This was quite a pair of games. What a mess. What an unfortunate, I feel so bad because it makes so much sense. I mean, it's not like I saw this right off the bat. It's not like I was like, aha, he pushed this pawn, therefore we win. You know, like it was a very like measured, like, I mean, it's a natural opening, right? Like getting ready to attack the, like the king pawn, like pushing, and then it makes sense. But, yeah, I mean, apparently moving that pawn is game over. And like, I didn't know that beforehand, and I didn't expect him to know that beforehand. It's just sort of like what happened. And so that's really unfortunate. That's really unfortunate. I mean, we had to see it, granted, and we had some other good stuff too. Yeah, pushing this pawn. Yeah, we had some other good moves, but man, oh man, what a crazy game. What a crazy game. If cheese is offered to you, do you refuse it? Clearly not. Two cheese is gonna be maybe the name of the YouTube video or something. Man, apparently moving up. I wouldn't have seen that from a mile away. We sort of walked into it. We like naturally walked into it. It's not like I didn't play this knight move thinking at the time we'll definitely go back one turn. I had different ideas. But then actually forcing me to kick this knight is kind of what led me to think, okay, well, we had the idea of moving here and then trading and then getting the pawn up here, and then ideas with this bishop later down the line, but yeah, it just sort of popped out. Is Average Human in this tournament? No, he isn't. Thank God for the rest of us, because, I mean, he's basically solved every variant under the sun. With a moon, maybe. How much cheese makes a moon? Moon first, sink later. I'm still working on those emotes. I'm working on the moon first, sink later emotes. GG to our opponent. GG Praxis. Let's message him here. Haha.